Fight it out.
Right. And the game's difficulty is very uneven. I think I went through about the first, about 7/8 of the game I went through, and or like the first 2/3 of the game or so that I went through, and like I just mostly just beat it by just bashing things in. I didn't really need to know how to block. I kind of knew what, you know, the spells and other stuff were, but I didn't really have to rely on them for most of the game. But then you get to the end of the game, and they're like something like, you fucking need to block right now. Constantly.
Time for the final exam.
Exactly. And the game spends zero time trying to urge you or guide you into doing those things. And I don't care if it's the third game in the series, and it's stuff that you should quote-unquote already know. There are going to be people who jump into that game like it's their first one and not know to do those things, and you still have to guide those people into knowing what to do. You have to make some effort, and this game made none.
I mean, you can, but...
Yeah, like... They set up other things to make it so that if you had to play the other games, you at least have some semblance of understanding what was happening.
Yep,
they put a whole friggin' encyclopedia into the game that explains what happened, you know, leading up to it. There's a whole archive that you can read if you want to.
They also released this archive that you could buy. It's called Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
Yeah, 1.5 plus 2.8 plus the square root of pi.
EX plus
passage.
EX plus alpha.
Through
plus.
the keyhole. But yeah, basically, it's not good to have a game in any part of the series that doesn't take any time to explain what you're doing or why, and what things you need to know to succeed in the game in full. It feels like the end of the game wanted to be that, but it really wasn't, because the rest of the game does not encourage you to do anything else. But then you get to like the last few fights, and it's like you pretty much need to block all the time, constantly. You need to deflect all the time, constantly. And at no point in the rest of the game, like it doesn't, you know, you have to do that.
That feels about right for Kingdom Hearts overall balance.
To my understanding, that isn't really how the other games work, but I also don't know, because I've not played more than a little bit of either of the earlier games, or any of the other earlier games.
Kingdom Hearts 1 was kind of like, well, all you have to do is, well, you can dodge roll, or you can parry.
Yep, this game has that, and then it has different forms and stuff, which are all pretty neat. I really enjoyed that.
And Kingdom Hearts 2 was just press triangle to work out.
Yep. And there's a little bit of that in this game, in 3. One thing that's kind of interesting is they usually have multiple special actions that you can do with the triangle button at any given time, depending on what the situation is. And you have to find a way to, you know, you basically have an ability that you can just switch between them and pick which one you actually want to do at any given time. So like you might have a special move you can do with Goofy, or you can advance to the next form of your Keyblade.
The air is a dangerous place.
Yep.
Well, no, not enough.
Overall, I enjoyed it. It was fun for the spectacle, but just like I said, it was not a good game. Like, it was very fun.
Not as much fun as you could be having.
Yeah, I was glad to be done with it when I was finished. Not the least because that last fight is just fuck that fight. It's difficult in a way that's not fun. Is the best way I could put it. Like there's games like, okay, it's hard, but like I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm trying to understand it. And when I beat it, I feel like I accomplished something, and I'm happy that I overcame this challenge. This time was like oh man, I'm so glad I'm done with this.
I'm just fucking ready to be done with this.
Right, like I'm done. And that's never good. That I'm not supposed to be feeling like that when I'm done with the game. Also, the ending was the way that they did the ending. It was like very underwhelming and kind of lacking in catharsis, I guess.
There's some games that even if I enjoy them at the end, I'm just like, I really just want this to be fucking over with.
Yeah. Also, they did Kyrie real dirty.
What's that? You want a playable female character in a main game? Ha! Get fucking out of here.
It's not that she's not playable. It's that she literally doesn't do anything. She doesn't. They don't give her a personality for most of it. And she's really only framed as something to be won or obtained, which is just not cool. You know. And then they finally start to make it look like she's gonna get some development, only to fuck her over really badly. Like it's just really like I'm amazed that someone didn't check Nomura at some point.
I can already imagine what his response would have been. It's like, the game's not about her.
That's okay, but it is about her. The entire series has been about her because the whole point of the first game was, oh, Kyrie's gone, we need to save her. Second one was, I've been separated from Kyrie and I need to get back to her. The third game didn't really have that, but then they threw it in at the end. And like I said, she had, you know, the possibility to develop a personality or some development, and they just kind of juked it.
Remember, Striker, it's about the journey, not the destination.
Well, her journey was shit too. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the journey that is Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, sure. Also, the funny thing was, like, some of the worlds that you go to are literally just, here is the plot of the movie. And Donald, Goofy, and Sora were there. I mean, Sora, Donald, and Goofy were there.
I mean, that part makes sense.
Yep. No, I mean, it's not just, oh, they were, you know, they found a way to work them into the story and they, you know, they happen to be present for it, or they're not even doing things in it. It's just, oh, here's the plot of the movie happening.
They were just literally there.
Yeah, they're literally just kind of off to the side in the corner somewhere while the plot of the movie is occurring. Tangled's story was especially bad about that.
Like, okay, well, just do your thing, I guess. We'll be over here doing all the actual fighting and stuff.
Yeah, like there's this one scene where basically the main female lead, whose name I don't remember right now, Rapunzel, basically. Well, that's it, Rapunzel. Rapunzel basically, she leaves the tower for the first time and she's excited and she's frightened at the same time, and so they keep having her jump between, oh, I'm excited, look at this, oh my god, I've left, it's horrible, I've messed up, I'm a terrible person. And I'm pretty sure that was in the movie originally, but basically they literally just redid those scenes, except Sora, Donald, and Goofy are just kind of standing there watching her do this.
I mean, I would, if it were up to me, I would absolutely do something like that too. Except it would just, like, kind of pan to the side to show Sora looking at the camera like it's The Office.
Yeah, that would have been perfect. Oh, and you have a camera mode in this game, so you can take selfies. And, like, some of the characters actively respond to you getting them in the frame. Like, they'll actually pose for you. It's neat.
Selfie
but the main
mode.
reason that you have the camera is so that you can take pictures of hidden Mickeys, which sounds way worse than it actually is.
Gonna take pictures of the hidden Mickeys. Is it
like
that
basically
way?
It's literally like little Mickey Mouse symbols.
I was gonna say, isn't finding the hidden Mickeys what Vic Magnolia's on trial for? Topical.
Mm-hmm.
God, what a shit show.
Wait, who are we talking about now?
Vic Magnolia.
Oh, Magna.
Magnolia Home Theater.
Yeah. and the thing that just kills me about that is that people are like, oh, where's the evidence? And it's like, people have been talking about this guy for years. And it's just only now that he's starting to get caught on. The only reason that he is now is because people are actually willing to do something about it, whereas before they would just kind of laugh it off and just be like, oh, well, this is just a thing that happens. We're at a point where it should have never been okay, but now it's not okay, and people are actually willing to do something.
It was that, and like when the biggest part was, it was during the Full Metal Alchemist days where he was a deal.
I mean, understandably, he's apparently always been a deal and is still a deal, but
Nah,
he's probably a bigger deal then.
Yeah, he's not. He hasn't really been a deal in a long time.
He's Broly, and that was actually the publicization of that was what started this.
Look, I don't think being Broly is quite as big of a deal as anybody makes it out to be.
It really isn't.
He's the guy who screams and says Kakarot a bunch.
Yeah, even though he did have, from what I understand, an actual character in this movie.
Yeah.
Which I do want to see it at some point. Because it looked really nice.
Yeah.
But I also haven't like watched any of Super, so
Me neither.
there's that. Yeah. Like I watched a little bit, but there's so much of it, and I can't keep up with it. It's bad enough. Like I'm trying to catch up to JoJo right now. That one just ended, and I want to finish it, but like I can only watch so much of it at a time, and I just don't have enough time to sit down and binge and finish the whole thing.
Just be like me. Just
I'm actually
stop watching at a certain point.
Yeah, I don't do that. If I'm interested enough in it, I'm gonna keep on watching. Like I actually did manage to finish some of the shows that I was following. Like I was watching Star vs. the Force of Evil. That one was a good show. Finished that one. That was, for what that show is way deeper than I would have ever expected it to be. Like it got into some real shit.
At the moment, I am watching. God, I don't even know how to. I can't remember even how to pronounce it. It's like Kakegurui.
Kakegurui.
Yeah, that's a fucking show. Or a fucking roller coaster of a show.
Oh man, I love that show just because it's just so ridiculous. Also, its opening theme is a banger.
Like the only reason I like it was on my Netflix list, but the only reason I really like started watching it is because pretty much Twitter pointed it out, like, "Hey, second season's starting." So I was like, "Sure, why not?"
There's a second season?
Yep.
Well, now I have to watch it. Because they kind of left it on an interesting point, and I don't know where they're gonna go with it.
Erica Harlacher, her Yumiko's voice actress, just like, watch season 2. And I was like, sure, okay, I don't know who you are, but I'll do it.
I also need to catch up to Retsuko too.
Yeah, I still need to watch it as well.
That's a good show. It's sometimes almost a little bit too much though.
I think that's the point,
like,
though.
I know people that are like some of the people in that show. It's really sad.
Isn't that the point, though? It's supposed to be a little too real.
Yeah. It's not quite BoJack Horseman real, but it's pretty real.
I don't think I've ever actually watched BoJack Horseman.
It's very depressing. It's funny, but like it's also very depressing at times. I think like the overriding idea of it is that like on one hand it's somewhat okay to be messed up, but like you should still try to do something about it, but it's also never going to fully go away.
Yeah.
And if you think you've fully gotten rid of it, you're probably in too deep.
You're about to have an experience.
Oh yeah.